Tomorrow night is Hanukkah. It has come so quick. I don't know for you, but for me, I was not expecting it so soon. And here it is here. And it's like as if someone is calling us, stop, think. We're in the middle of the winter. The Yomim Noroim, Kimat, forgotten. Kimat. Sukkot is very far behind. We are trudging along, each one in his own business, his own activity. And sometimes, when someone doesn't stop to think a bit where he is going, what he is doing, then those activities in which we engaged as a matter of routine can become a rut. That is, a routine from a routine can become a rut. That means everything we do sometimes loses its real importance. We become like automaton, people, robots. And if you're not careful, from a routine and from a rut, it can become a heavy burden. And sometimes this burden seems impossible to bear even. And all that because we have not cared to try to revise a bit, to put ourselves in a question, what am I doing, and what the thing I'm doing, what are they for? Is it the right way to behave? So Baruch Hashem is right in the middle of this winter, right in the middle of this rut, and right in the middle of this feeling of burdens, which one time or another we all feel we want to shake it off, as we say, to leave it all behind, to run away. Where to? We don't know. There is nowhere. Sometimes we feel in such a situation as we feel enclosed. It's a question of mood. Sometimes you feel in a very good mood, everything is light, everything is rosy, you're not worried, you're not afraid, you're not upset about anything. Fine, good. But I think that's not the lot of the majority of us. Leider. And therefore there comes the Yom Tov of Hanukkah right in the middle of this darkness, in the middle of this deep winter, and shines a light to us. I always said that the same activities we are doing in the same house we are living into, the same people we are rubbing shoulders with constantly, we can, if we want to look in a different light, in a different way, we can change the whole picture. It's like someone who is in the dark. There's a beautiful picture hanging on the wall in front of him. But since there is only the light, a very weak source of light coming from the window. So you can see certain shapes in the picture. You can see there is a tree there. There is a house. There is a lake. There is something that looks like the sunset. But since there is no light, you cannot appreciate the picture. You cannot see the colors. As we know, in the dark, red and black look alike, for example. So does blue or green. As soon as you put on the light, then you see beautiful picture. I was sitting in front of that picture and I didn't realize that this picture was so beautiful. What made the difference? The picture was all the time there. Because there was darkness. There was no light. So the Yom Tov of Chanukah we call it the Yom Tov Festival of the Lights. It's the Yom Tov of the Neis, of the Neiros. And therefore, if we stop and think, we have to speak about it beforehand, that Chanukah should not be something also a burden. Oh, it's the time, quick, we have to prepare have you put the oil? Where's the wicks? Come on, last minute. I remember Vayeshev used to speak against that behavior. People that rush from the activities there, because we have to light the Chanukah licht. The last minute they look for some oil, some wick. He was against that. Said, well, Chanukah has to be prepared. If you want to get the utmost of this Yom Tov of Chanukah, one has to anticipate it. One has to look forward it with a great expectation, because it is so. Then we'll be able to enjoy it, and then we'll be able to get a big, tremendous chizuk from this Yom Tov of Chanukah. What is that light, this wonderful light, which Chanukah projects? In one word, we can say it's very simple. Emunah and Mesiras Nefesh for Emunah. If you join those two together, Emunah, to realize the conviction, the clarity, the truth of Hashem Echad, Shmo Echad, then it has to lead us into a behavior which will bring us even to be Moser Nefesh for that Emunah. That is the lesson of Chanukah. And then it brings tremendous successes. As we read in Al Anisim, we'll read in Al Anisim already from tomorrow night in the Amidah of Arvis, B'imei Matisyahu ben Yochanan Kohen Gadol Hashmonayu Ronov. And we say, Ve'ato b'rachamecho rabim, Omadto lohem b'tzorosom, Ravto es rivom, Danto es dinom, Nokamto es nikmosom. That is the result of Mesiras Nefesh for Emunah. B'imei Matisyahu ben Yochanan Kohen Gadol Hashmonayu Ronov, She'omdo Malchus Yovan al Shor Amcho Yisrael, Lashkichom Teirosecho, Yovam, which is compared to darkness, say Chazal, V'choishech al Pnei Sehoim, says in Bereshis. The darkness was on the face of the deep. That refers to Malchus Yovam, the Golus Yovam. She'ershichu einayim shel Yisrael. They put darkness in the eyes of the Yidden with their bad decrees. What was that? Lashkichom Teirosecho, to make them forget your Torah, u'la'avirom b'chukei rotzeinecho, and to make them transgress the mitzvahs. And then, because Matisyahu Bonov, we are Moser Nefesh, ve'ato b'rachamecho horabim, with your great mercy, omadto lehem b'tzorosom, you stood for them in the time of their sorrow. And what did you do? Ravto es rivom. You disputed their dispute, danto es dinom, you judged their judgment, nokamto es nikmosom, you took revenge on their enemies, mosato giboirim biad chaloshim, you delivered the strong ones in the hand of the feeble ones, verabim biad me'atim, and the many into the hand of the few, utemeim biad tohirim, oshoim biad tzadikim, zeidim biad oskesecho, ulecho siso shem godel v'kodesh be'elomecha. This greatness of Chanukah, against all the odds, a person sometimes feels, what can I do? There are so many odds against me. The situation, for some people, it's health. For others, it's money. And for others again, it's different problems. But sometimes a person feels, who can help me out? Who protects me? Who will protect me? Sometimes it's just trivial matter. Some kind of a letter to fill for the administration. Anything. And it can become a burden. And a person needs to feel protected. A person needs that there is someone very great, very powerful, and very loving, who is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Rafto es Rivom, Danto es Dimnon. He's going to take it over. Don't worry. It's not your problem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take it over. He is in charge. He'll sort it out. He'll sort it out for you. That's what we say in Al-Anisi. That's what the Nes of Chanukah teaches us. That once a person is Moiser Nefesh for Torah, once a person is Moiser Nefesh for Emunah, that's his job, that's his aim. That's what he can do in life. Then the rest is in the hands of Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take over. Rafto es Rivom, Danto es Dimnom, no Kamto. He is the one that gives the cure. He is the one who is in charge of Parnose. He is the one who protects. He does everything for us, but with one condition. When we rely on Him, when we show that we have so much emunah in Him, that we are moiser nefesh, that is, we put it top priority. The emunah in the Torah, and the emunah in HaKadosh Baruch Hu is top priority in our agenda. And we'll do anything for it. Without any remuneration, without any shelo kabel pras, like Matisyo Ubono, and even to give your life for it. B'chol nafshach. There is a Ramban in the beginning of Parshas Be'aloscha. Rashi brings a Chazal. Lo mo nismecho Parshas Be'aloscha l'chanukas hamizbeach. Why was the command of lighting the menorah in the Beis Hamikdash to Aaron HaKohen written straight after the Chanukas HaMizbeach? After the Mishkan was erected and all the Nesiim had brought their korbanos, and straight after that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Moshe to tell Aaron, Be'alo Yisro Chaneros, you have to light the menorah. So Chazal say, because Aaron HaKohen was upset that he did not participate, the Shevet Levi was the only one out who did not bring a korban of Chanukas HaMizbeach, like all the other tribes. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu comforted Aaron HaKohen, and he said, do not be upset, Aaron. Chayecho, on your life, your portion is greater than the portion of the Nesiim. Why? Shato meiti v'madlik es haneros. Your portion, your function in the Beis Hamikdash is even greater than the function, than what all the Nesiim just did now, to bring a korban for Chanukas HaMizbeach. What is that function you are going to do, which is even better than what they did? That is to be meitiv u'madlik es haneros, to light the menorah. So the Ramban asked the kasha on this. Why just comfort Aaron with the function of lighting the menorah. Aaron was a Kohen Gadol. He had many other functions besides lighting the menorah. He brought the korbanos, he made the ketoires, he made the duchen, birkas koyahanim, so many more functions. Avodas Yom HaKippurim. Lifnai velifnim, he entered in the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Much more important than lighting the menorah every day. And the Ramban answers, he found in the Braise, it's like a Mishnah, that this consolation which HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave to Aaron HaKohen in order to console him from his disappointment that he did not participate in the Chanukas HaMizbeach, that doesn't refer to the Adlokas HaNeiros of the Beis HaMikdash, to the fact that Aaron was nominated to light the Neiros of the Menorah, which was in the Beis HaMikdash. It refers to the Adlokas HaNeiros of Chanukah. That was the consolation which HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave to Aaron HaKohen. Chayecha shelcha gedoil mishelahem. Your part is greater than theirs because al yotcho, through your descendants, Matisho, Ubonov, who were descendants from Aaron HaKohen, Kohen Gadol, Chashmonai Ubonov, through you there'll come the nace of Chanukah, and the nace of Chanukah is a nace which is going to overlast the Churban Beis HaMikdash. That in the worst of the Golus, in the worst of the times, in the biggest of the darkness, in the history of Klal Yisrael, there will be this light of Chanukah burning everywhere in the Klal Yisrael. That this wonderful nace of Chanukah is going to be so strong that it's going to accompany the Yidden wherever they go, wherever they are, even in the depth of their golus. That's how the Ramban explains. And Be'emes, why was Aaron HaKohen, why was the Shevet Levi chosen for that? We just said before that the nace of Chanukah happened through Mesiras Nefesh. And we know that at the time of the Chet HaEgel, the only Shevet that did not do the Egel, that was the Shevet Levi. Not only that, but they were the ones that rallied with Moshe Rabbeinu when he asked, Mi Lashem Eloi, who is to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with me? Let him come to me in order to take the revenge against the Avodah Zorah. And Vayeshev, it says, Kol B'nei Levi. All the B'nei Levi came to Moshe Rabbeinu and they were ready to join in the fight against the Avodah Zorah. And therefore, already in that time, the time of the Egel, that's why the Shevet Levi, the Kohanim, were chosen to become the priests. Until then, they were the Bechiris, the firstborn, who were the Kohanim of the Klal Yisrael. Until then. Only through their Mesiras Nefesh, through their courage and and self-sacrifice, did the Shevet Levi Zoiche, they were Zoiche to become the Kohanim and to be chosen as Kohanim instead of the Bechoros. And from there comes this miracle of Chanukah, which is going to be done through the Kohanim, through the descendants of Aaron HaKohen. So here again we find that point, that the teaching of Chanukah, as I said before, lies in one word. If we want and we surely want, that Be'ezras Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should protect us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should take in hand all our worries, all our tzuras, and dispel them and find a cure for them, and should take us out from this golus, then there is only one way. It's Mesiras Nefesh with Emunah. Emunah with Mesiras Nefesh. Now we know that the nace of Chanukah was twofold. In Al Anisim, we mentioned the nace of the battle. Rav to es rivom, dan to es dinom, lokam to es nikmosom, mosar to giboirim yad chaloshim. Although the Hashmonoim were so few, they had victory on the big army of the Yevonim. In Masechet Shabbos, we mention the nace for which we are lighting the menorah of Chanukah, that is the nace of the Neiros. We all know what the Gemara says, my Chanukah, why is it, and why do we make Chanukah 8 days, and why do we light every night another light? The Gemara answers, because when the Hashmonoim were victorious against the Yevonim, they wanted to light the menorah. They could not find any oil which was left pure, untouched by the Yevonim, except a bottle which was with the stamp of the Kohen Gadol, and there was enough oil to light only for 1 day. They lit it, they poured this oil in equal amounts in all the 7 goblets of the menorah, 7 lamps, and it lasted for 8 days. So that is the nace. And because of that nace, which lasted for 8 days until they had time to prepare new oil, that's why we have a Yom Tov for 8 days of Chanukah, and we light every night a light. This is the nace of Chanukah. There we don't mention in Masechet Shabbos, when we speak my Chanukah, what is Chanukah, we don't mention the nace of the battle that Mosatu Giborim Biad Chaloshim. It just says when the Hashmonim were victorious, how they were victorious. The Gemara doesn't say how they were victorious. It takes it for granted that we know the story already. That's not the main point. When they were victorious, then they tried to light the menorah, and then they found this little bottle, and with that bottle there was a nace. Good. In the Shmoyne Esrei Al Anisim, we don't mention the nace of the oil. If you see, you look, it just elaborates on the nace of the battle, Masartu Giborim Yad Chaloshim, Rabim Yamatim, etc. And then, ואחר כך בואו בונכו לדביר ביסכו, פינו אסכו לכו, והדליקו נרוס בחצרס קודשכו. They lit up lights in the courtyard of the Beis HaMikdash. And there it doesn't say what was the nace of lighting the neiros. Just והדליקו נרוס בחצרס קודשכו. This is a question which I've heard that a few Sforim ask that question. Why don't we put the two Nisim together in both places? In Masechet Shabbos, when we say Chanukah, it should have said, since there was a twofold nace, the nace of the battle and the nace of the oil, it should have always been inseparable. That means here in Al Anisim we should mention both of them, the nace of the battle, Take, and also afterwards, ואחר כך בואו בונכו, לדביר ביסכו, ופינו אסכו לכו, וחיפשו שמן, ולא מוצאו אלא פח שהיו חסום בחושמו של כהן גודל, etc., etc. It would have made it a bit longer, but it doesn't matter. That's not the reason not to say it. That is after all the main nace of Chanukah. Why 8 days, and why do we light neiros every night? After all, that is not because of the battle. That is because of the oil. I don't know, I think I spoke about it once here in the Shia. About this question, and we try to answer it different ways. But first of all, we have to realize, when we analyze a bit, we see that the two Nisim are not different one from the other. Be'emes, they all are kimat the same. Why? Because the Nes in both instances was, like the Chovas HaLevavos says in one place, Me'at min o'oir doiche arbe min ha'choshech. Me'at min o'emes doiche harbe min ha'sheker. A bit of truth pushes away a lot of falsehood, the same as a bit of light pushes a lot of darkness. Chovas HaLevavos says here a wonderful proverb, wonderful motion. The same as in order to push away a lot of light, a big hole, a lot of darkness, a big hole. If you come into this hole, it's not so big, but if you go in Benoist hole, it's bigger. Now, if it's all plunged in the darkness, mamish, you go into you open the door, it's all dark, pitch dark. Do you need to put a light in every corner like here in order to push away the darkness? No, a little tiny pen light you have in your pocket. You just switch it on. Already you can see your way. Or you can see already right till the end of the hole. A bit of light pushes away a lot of darkness. Why is it so? Because darkness is not something which is equivalent to light. Darkness is nothing. Darkness means there is no light. You have a little bit of light, that's enough. A bit of light. The same says the Chovas HaLevavos, falsehood, sheker, is the same thing. Sheker is like, it's nothing. All Olam Hazeh is sheker. All the values of Olam Hazeh, all the worries of Olam Hazeh is sheker. It's a lack of light, that's all. You put on light, a light of emunah, light of Torah, and suddenly there is no darkness anymore. Everything is beautiful. You see the light. For example, many times when we hear, mamish, those people who read newspapers, it's a nace that don't become ill from it. And without even reading newspapers, just from what we hear, there and here and there. Man is very strange. The good news, it doesn't register. There's a Shalom Zocher there, Baruch Hashem. That when I had a grandchild, a chasana, a kiddush, a bar mitzvah, here, there. No, gar nicht. What do we register? The bad news. It seems as if man wants to become sad. He likes to be sad. And therefore he registers only bad news. Good news, nothing. What is lacking there? What is lacking? A person has to change all his outlook. A bit of light. To put a bit of light in his mind. After all, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mir kennt sich verlassen auf ihm. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world for chesed. He created the world so that people should be happy in that world. We see some people are not happy. I am not happy, and that one is not happy. To be happy is a matter of one personal affair. Eizu Ashir Asomeach. Look at what the Mesilas Yesharim says. In Shar Azrizus. Mesilas Yesharim says there is not one person in the world that doesn't have to be grateful to the Rabbeinu Shalom. And he quotes, even the poorest of the poorest, who doesn't have a penny to rub together, he has to be grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Although he's so poor, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't let him die from starvation, you hear? That's what the Mishnah Yesharim says. And a person who is very ill, chas v'shalom l'aleinu l'aleichem, and he's in the depth of his illness, Rachmana litzlan, he should be grateful to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that although he's so ill, and yet he's still surviving for the moment. He's still alive yet. And for that moment of life he still has, he has to be grateful. Look how the Mesilas Yesharim, what kind of light he had in his mind. The Mesilas Yesharim, he wanted to be happy. He wanted to be grateful. He realized, he was miming, that the Rabbeinu Shel Olam is Rachmon, Rachum, Vechanun, is Toiv, Umeitiv. This emunah in the Yud Gimel Midas has to stop us from being pessimistic and always live in this kind of deep sadness and darkness that it seems the whole world has become crazy, the world has come to a chaos, and we don't know where we are. It's a jungle. We feel like little fish with big sharks roaming all around. Sometimes a person can become mamish ill from such a mentality. And in order to change that, there's only one thing: emunah. Emunah in the Rabbeinu Shel Olam. Emunah in the Yud Gimel Midas. In the emunah, in the goodness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is a toiv u'meitiv, is a rachmon mikol rachmon, as the Chodesh HaLevavos says. Merachem mikol merachem. He has got more mercy on us than our father and our mother. How can we suspect him of doing schlecht? Moshe Rabbeinu was punished because he accused HaKadosh Baruch Hu lo mo'arei oiso lo mazeh. In the Shibud Mitzrayim, he accused the Rabbeinu Shel Olam lo mo'arei oiso lo mazeh. And because of that he was punished. Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? Because it was a lack in emunah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him Musa, he said, Avram Avinu never said the same. He had so many nisyones, and he never told me such a thing, lo mo'arei oiso. And you, Moshe Rabbeinu, you speak like that. So we see that real emunah means to understand that whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends on our path, whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu does in the world, although it sounds so drastic, so catastrophic, so terrible, what's happening? People say the world has become crazy. What's happening with the world? Instead of asking that, let us ask a question: what's happening with me? What's happening with me? What's happening with my emunah? Why is my emunah? Why do I let myself go into depression? Why am I not ma'amin? The Rabbeinu Shel Olam loves me, protects me. He wants me to go along to my right destination, and he tries to help me. I have to do a bit on my own. The two miracles of Chanukah come to teach the same thing. Me'at min ha'or, a bit of light, pushes away a lot of darkness. The battle, I don't need many soldiers, says Rabbeinu Shel Olam. You, Matisyahu, and your sons, is enough. Me'at min ha'or, a bit of light. All the tanks, all the planes, all the big army of the Yevonim were just a handful, just Matisyahu Ubonov. Mosato Giborim Yad Hoshim. Why? Because you represent the bit of light. And I am going to fight. Rav Toes Rivom, Dan Toes Dinam. I'm going to do your battle. As we know for Chizkiyahu HaMelech, Chizkiyahu HaMelech was asleep after he had learned Torah the whole day and a big part of the night. While he was asleep, the army of Sancheriv, which was surrounding Yerushalayim, was completely exterminated with one angel, one malach. What do you need? We need a lot. And for Elisha, also when Elisha was surrounded in Shomron with the army of Aram, and in the morning his lad, his Shamash, who was always serving him, he says, Rebbe, look, we are surrounded by thousands and thousands of soldiers. What are we going to do? So Elisha turned to Hashem and he said, please, Rabbeinu Shalom, open the eyes of the lad. And then he opened the eyes of, Kadosh Baruch Hu opened the eyes of the lad, and he saw angels, which were in many more numbers than all the soldiers of Aram, glittering with their swords and with their chariots, with their horses made of fire. And then Elisha said to the lad, Rabim asher imonu, those who are with us are many more than those who are with them. Emunah. Chazal says, Omar Rabbi Meir, every time a person does a mitzvah, he creates a malach. It says in Pirkei Avos, Kol oiseh mitzvah achas, boirei lo praklit echad, it's a malach. How many mitzvahs do we do in the day? Baruch Hashem. Can we count them? Every time we say a word of tefillah, a bracha, every time we do a mitzvah of tzedakah, of chesed, every time we do something in the kitchen to prepare the soup. As Rabbi Miller says, every time you peel a potato, every peeling you take off, it's a mitzvah aseh d'oraisa. No, count all the... Now you laugh. You should laugh when you do it. Every time you create an angel, a malach, oy, you would be singing then. Noch a malach, noch a malach, noch a malach. But we don't do it. Why don't we do it? Light. We have to switch on the light. We have to wake up, open the eyes, open the eyes of the lad. He should look at the malachim. And those malachim are with us in the streets. Wherever we go, we've got a troops of them following us. We don't see them. Ki malocho v'yitzav eloch lishmorecho b'chol dorochecho. Omar Rabbi Meir, those are the malachim which you have made for yourself. But at least we have to know it, to recognize them, to make our acquaintance with them. Me'at min oir. That is for the battle. And for the oil, it's the same thing. They found the bottle of oil. How much oil was there? There was oil only for one day. There was kind of nachum. To light. And tomorrow we'll wait again. Is it worth it? It's not gewerde. Right, keep it aside. When we'll have the new oil, we'll pour it together with it. But for the moment, what can we do with it? And the Chashmonim didn't say that. They said, no, now there is oil. Okay, it's a little bit of oil. We have to do what we have to do. And they poured the oil in the lamps, and they lit it, and there was the miracle. If they would have said, no, it's not good enough, it's only for one day, and we have to wait another 7 days without, why should we start lighting now, and then stop again? There wouldn't have been a Nes of Chanukah, wouldn't have made Chanukah tomorrow night. Because they believed that me'at min oir, what is the value of when we can do something? We have in our grasp to do a mitzvah. Okay, it's a small mitzvah. We can say one capital Tehillim. What is that capital Tehillim? K'mat gar nicht. What is it? What is a pasuk of? What is Ashri Yeshve Vayeshev? What is a bracha shakol ni b'dvar gorisht? That's the way we behave. Does it go nicht and does it go nicht? And then we wonder why our life is so senseless, purposeless. We don't see any point in it. We don't feel this fulfillment, this achievement. We are looking for something from where we don't know. Maybe we have to change place. Maybe we have to go to Eretz Yisrael, make our aliyah. Maybe we have to do this. Maybe we have to do that. We don't know. We don't know anymore. No. Me'at mino oich, doiche habe min hachashech. Appreciate the little bit you can do. It's not a little bit, because that little bottle, that little bit of oil, was the basis of the whole nace of Hanukkah. So you see, the two nisim really are the same in their essence, in their content. You don't have to put them together. It's a repetition. It's one same miracle. The miracle of the Pach Shemen and the miracle of Mosato Giborim B'Yad Chaloshim all comes out from the same attitude of the Chashmonoim. The same attitude, whatever they did, when they wanted to be Moisel Nefesh al Kiddush Hashem, they said, well, we can take a sword in our hand and kill a few Yevonim. We can do that. To what price? It's nicht unser Geschäft. We can do it. Not to think about the other things. Is it das teure? Is it the right thing to do? Yes or no? So they asked Matisyo, Kohen Gadol, that tzaddik. They said, yes, that is the right thing to do. To be Meisel Nefesh al Kiddush Hashem. The Chofetz Chaim once said, at the time when there was the Russian Revolution, and the Rosh Yeshivas were in Russia, there was the communist rule then. They were against the yeshivas. They put in prisons the Rosh Yeshivas and their Talmidim. They came and asked the Chofetz Chaim, and the Chofetz Chaim did not give a clear psak. But afterwards, because it was Nagia to Pikuach Nefesh and so on, but afterwards the Chofetz Chaim said, we should have then given a psak, he said. Afterwards, we should have then given a psak to be Moisel Nefesh al Kiddush Hashem. Because when it's a matter of Torah, that the Russians are goyzer gezeres on the Torah, lashkichom Torah to stop learning Torah and stop doing the mitzvahs, said then there is a mitzvah of Kiddush Hashem the same as it was in the time of the Hashmonoi. That's what the Chofetz Chaim said. But to what price? The price is not yours. The price is the Rabbeinu Shalom. And the price is that Omad Tolem Besorosam, you do your own. Don't think too much. People always try to think at what will be. If I start a school, for example. No, what's the time? And from where will the money come? And the building, and the Talmidim, and this, and that, and the other. And every enterprise a person does, even when it's on a personal level, individual level, if I start getting up early in the morning to learn to teach a shiur, or if I don't feel so well, like tonight, for example, and I don't know if I can give the shiur, and then you say, well, I can manage to drag myself out and to go into the hall and to say a few words. But if you can't do that, do it. Do what you can do. And then you will witness wonders, miracles. And Baruch Hashem, experience has taught me that whenever I'm in such a situation, or I feel not up to it, and I say, and I still have to do it because I can do it, that it's even better than the usual times. Because then you get siyata d'ishmaya. Rav toes rivom. That's the lesson of Hanukkah. We want to have all the things for us. We want to have the money in the pocket before making a yeshiva. We want to have gesund, and we want to have everything written on a piece of notes, all the notes written before giving the shiur. Everything should be ordered in our head. We don't want to leave anything chas v'shalom to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No, that's not the system. The system is, that's what Hanukkah teaches us. The system is, you do the little bit you can do. You do the little bit you can do. We don't ask you to do the whole thing. We don't ask you to finish. Lo alecha amlocha ligmoir. It's not you who's going to finish it. Any rate. So therefore, you start. You be the starter. Man is a starter. That's all what he is. That is the lesson of Chanukah. And we find Taki in the beginning of Rashi, of Vayeshev, it's also to say a word on the Parsha. Rashi Yoshon says, why was it written Vayeshev straight after the Alufe Esav? He brings a medrash. When Yaakov Avinu saw all the Alufim of Esav, he got scared. He said, where are all those Alufim going to? How can I manage them to overcome them? HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, don't worry, they are all big bundles of straw. A little spark of your Torah, you Yaakov, a little flame of Yosef will burn them all. And he quotes a pasuk in Ovadia, V'hoyo beis Yankovish ubeis Yosef lehovo beis Esav kash. This terrible Golus Edom. It's a big bundle of straw. When is going to vanish? Don't worry. A little bit of your Torah, a little bit of your emunah, nitzutz. We don't need much. One spark comes out from your fire of the blacksmith and the moshel with the blacksmith. One spark goes and flies. That's enough. That's the chizuk we have to get from Chanukah.